The Arcana is the means by which all is revealed. Only courage in the face of doubt can lead one to the answer. So, in light of The Sims still not acknowledging at all the 10th anniversary of The Sims 4, we're left wondering what is next for this game. And the answer turns out to be a roadmap called The Season of To Be Continued. One of the strangest names I think we've ever had for a roadmap, but a very intriguing one. But you may also be wondering, why do I sound so different? And, well, I upgraded my mic. So I ended up going with the Rode Pod Mic USB. This is not sponsored or anything. I just thought some of you may be genuinely curious as to which mic I upgraded to. If you watched my video on Disney Dreamlight Valley last night about the new event, then you already know. You already know, but yeah, I think this is the video that most of you are going to hear me for the first time with this new mic, so let me know in the comment section below how you like it, because this was long overdue, I think. So, let's get into this. It may be the most interesting roadmap, not in terms of the content it's promising, but the theme and how it's presented. We have these tarot cards, with the first one saying Artist Studio Kit and Storybook Nursery Kit, just outright saying they're both releasing on September 19th. Then the Reapers Rewards event on September 24th. The next one being the Life and Death expansion pack first look on October 3rd, and the launch is on Halloween, October 31st. Then we have free updates at some point. And what is the last one? Well, we don't know because it's to be continued. And yes, this roadmap does run from September to December. Pretty intriguing that they're just possibly keeping a big secret under wraps even with this roadmap, with one of the tarot cards being kept a mystery and calling the theme of the roadmap to be continued. At the same time though, very interesting that they're being so forthcoming about when to expect everything else, down to the exact day. As a content creator, I love this because even though, sure, it does take a little bit of the element of surprise away, that's not really the most important thing. It's more so the content that's actually in all this stuff, which we still don't know much about. And having these dates in mind does help me plan out my content more. But what elevates this to be my favorite Sims roadmap so far is that with the illustrations on these cards, they can be tied to actual major arcanas that are seen on real tarot cards. And it reminded me so much of the Persona games looking at this roadmap, because characters in Persona are often tied to a major arcana. That's what inspired me to look into it in the first place. So I'll talk about which tarot card links to which major arcana as we go through each one. So we'll start with these two kits releasing 2 weeks from now. Artist Studio Kit and Storybook Nursery Kit. This card seems to be inspired by the Star Arcana, which I find hilarious because kits are basically the star of The Sims 4 right now. They put out so many of these, but the star, this is from tarot.com, by the way. I'll leave the link in the video description below if you want to learn more about these. But the star is the embodiment of hope and healing. She is a calming influence that brings messages of renewal, optimism, and inspiration. When the star comes up in your tarot reading, she reminds you that the universe is working in your favor and encourages you to have faith in where you are being taken. So I think I can connect that to these two kits, especially with the Artist Studio, with having like renewal and inspiration for new ideas. The Storybook Nursery Kit, I can't really connect to as much, but I guess maybe more so the optimism part of just like having a new life. But I'm very interested in the idea of these two kits, though that sucks that we're not getting any Create a Sim kits. Again, they're both build ones, so I guess Create a Sim kits may join game packs in death. Now let's move on to the second card, which is the Reapers Rewards event starting September 24th. I'll admit this was the hardest one to link to any major arcana, so I could be off base here. But I think this most closely resembles the Devil, where the Devil card carries themes of restraint and powerlessness. When it comes up in your tarot reading, you are likely feeling stuck. The Devil has convinced you that you have no options, but this couldn't be further from the truth. You hold the keys to your own freedom, but it's up to you to open the lock. So I highly doubt this was the actual intention if I'm right about this linking to the Devil, but I think with this limited time event thing coming up again, it's like, oh yeah, feeling a bit restrained because you have to log in during a certain time period to get these exclusive objects or whatever is actually going to be in this. They even had a trait last time, but yeah, I guess you could have the freedom if you want to not play the event. I don't know. So for this one, I offer an alternative Arcana because while the cow plant in the art I think resembles the Devil most closely, when looking at the Judgment card, there's like all the hands reaching for the cake for the cow plant, but then the Judgment has like all the hands reaching out of the bottom half too, so I don't know. Maybe it's even a mixture of the two somehow, but I just not sure how this would link to Judgment in terms of the content. Because Judgment is a card where your past and your future come together. You are being called on to review your decisions and your actions until now to ensure they are in line where you ultimately want to go. The Judgment card reminds you that your future is not set in stone and that it's never too late to make a change for the better. Maybe the event is somehow going to lead into something in the expansion pack, but I don't know if the expansion pack will be that plot-based, really. Speaking of the expansion pack, I suppose we can move on to that now. So, Life and Death, the leak name is confirmed now. It'll be announced on October 3rd, and the launch will be on Halloween, October 31st. I mean, this is obvious. It's linked to the Death Arcana, though it's not quite as literal as it sounds. One of the most misunderstood tarot cards, Death is not a card about physical death. The Death card speaks of cycles and is a reminder that all things must pass. Hanging on to situations from the past will hinder you from allowing new, better things to enter your life. In every ending lies a chance for a new beginning. So the true meaning of the Death Arcana, I think, is very important to keep in mind with this Life and Death expansion pack. I mean, it's not simply just called Death or Get to Dying. It's called Life and Death, and even the Grim Reaper in the art is holding up a flower, and there's butterflies surrounding him. I'm not sure if he's holding the death flower or if it's a different flower, but I think it might also be like symbolizing the life part. So that makes me even more intrigued as to what this expansion pack is all about. Perhaps it's not just about life coming to an end, but also living life to the fullest and just finding a new beginning in that where you're going out of your comfort zone. So maybe there could be some kind of mechanic where your sim gets more life satisfaction from daring to try something new, and if it turns out well for them, then they will feel more satisfied with their life, and perhaps that could affect their eventual death in some way. But we are talking about life here, where things can easily go wrong, so I imagine it would be a risk versus reward sort of thing. So if things go very badly, then it can have a pretty negative effect too. I just hope it doesn't go the literal path where it kills the stability of The Sims 4 more than any other pack before it has. Now for the last card they revealed, the free updates, which I'm pretty sure is inspired by the World Arcana. That one brings back memories. As the last card of the major Arcana, the World represents completion and fulfillment. When it arises in your tarot reading, you're exactly where you're meant to be. You have a greater understanding of who you are after all you've been through, and you're ready for the next phase of your journey. This time, I'm actually gonna go in the completely opposite direction from the Death Arcana, because I think something much more literal is going on here. While perhaps the update they're teasing could give us a greater understanding of all the worlds and maybe like how we can select them. I think this is going to just be a hint in general that the update will tie into just the worlds in the game. Supporting my theory further, let's take a more focused look at the art on this tarot card. So we have a sim ascending in the middle of a plumb bob, but look what's surrounding the plumb bob. It appears we have some worlds that already exist in the game. The top left corner being Sulani, top right being Mount Komorebi, the bottom left being Forgotten Hollow featuring Vlad's Mansion, and the bottom right being Strangerville. Interesting selection of worlds there, though I don't think the particular selection of these worlds mean anything, but rather there's going to be some update to existing worlds. So what could this be all about? Well, about a year ago, I talked about a possible Manage World screen update that could be coming. There was a person on Maxis who posted that they were working on that, and nothing's really come of that since then. Also, I don't think we're getting Create a World. I think it's way too late for that. I don't think it's happening. Even though Twisted Mexi has been working on a mod for years now. I wonder how that's going, but I think if this is some kind of world editing thing, it would actually be a world editing tool where we could edit the existing public spaces of the world. So we would not be able to add or take away lots, but I think we would be able to just put stuff out in the street. So if we want to add more decorative cars, for example, we could do that. Or add dumpsters from Eco Lifestyle into Willow Creek, then we could do that. Because I've been relying on, actually to bring up Twisted Mexi again, the tool mod. So then we could maybe do that without needing the tool mod. While at first it may not sound all that interesting to be able to edit worlds outside of the buildable spaces we've had this whole time, when you have some ideas going, they can have a pretty big impact on your gameplay. I've done some videos in the past showing what I've done with the tool mod in certain worlds. For example, with the playground in Mirage Park in Del Sol Valley, I've added some things like the voting board from Eco Lifestyle, the pet obstacle course from Cats and Dogs, and actually more recently, off camera, I added the hopscotch courts and marbles from For Rent. So there's a lot more to do and it doesn't feel as empty. And what's cool is I've seen kids play with the marbles and hopscotch there on their own. So it's really cool. It just gives your Sims more to do without necessarily having to go through more loading screens if you happen to be in that neighborhood. And then if you throw mods into the mix, it only gets even better. For example, the archery mod by Jane Simpson that I showed off quite a while ago, I used the tool mod to add archery ranges to Chestnut Ridge and even near the lake in San Sequoia in Hopewell Hills. There's also the really great Lively Towns mod by ChipSim, where you have these cash registers for art and supplies, flowers, and books, and then you can assign a sim to run the shop, and you actually can choose exactly which sim it is. And it's cool because then you can also place those out in the street like I did in San Sequoia at the waterfront, so there's more to do over there. And that covers the roadmap. Well, almost. What the heck is this last card gonna be? It won't be the World Arcana, even though that's supposed to be the last one. So what else could it be? Well, I have two different theories. Maybe it could be the Fool Arcana. The Fool is young and vulnerable. He has not yet experienced the ups and downs of life, leaving him unaware of the magnitude of life's challenges, as well as the potential he holds. When the Fool comes up in a tarot reading, you are encouraged to take on his open, willing energy and embrace all that lies ahead of you without worry. So I feel that description towards the end could be really fitting going into a new year, because I think whatever is on that card is what we're getting towards the very end of this quarter. And it is worth noting, the Fool is the very first major Arcana, so it's like, okay, we're about to start the beginning of a new year, makes sense to have the Fool there. My other theory is much more literal, the moon, because there's a lot of moons on that to be continued screen. The moon card represents hidden thoughts, feelings, doubts, and fears. When the moon arises in your tarot reading, you may be allowing your fears to override your faith in the future. Don't be deceived, you can't believe everything that you see, hear, or think. If you can draw your feelings to the surface and address them, you can rid yourself of worry. But I'm not sure what either of those would really hint at in terms of content. Oh wait, I nearly forgot. There's a blog post for this roadmap that reveals a bit more. So it says in the first paragraph to settle in with a warm cup of cocoa and enjoy a tarot card reading that takes a peek at what's next. This makes me think even more. We could be getting some sort of fortune-telling career in the near future. Perhaps that could be the focus of a surprise stuff pack, because we've only had Crystal Creations this year, and actually previously on one of the community stuff pack votes, one of the themes was happy haunts, and one of those ideas was a psychic freelance career. So I think that could be really interesting. Perhaps it could also be part of the life and death expansion pack, but I'm not sure about that. But that could be how tarot cards get integrated into the actual game, rather than just being a cool presentation thing for this roadmap. So we've gone way beyond that Persona 3 reference at the beginning of this video. Moving on to save the dates, give your little Nubu a sophisticated start with the storybook nursery kit, or build an inspiring retreat to help your Sims creativity flow with the Artist Studio kit. Both are set to release September 19th. Nothing really new there that we couldn't figure out. Help Grim out and earn free items in the Reaper's Rewards event. So we are definitely going to see the Grim Reaper there. Coming to the base game September 24th. Keep an eye out for more information that will be shared in the days ahead. So I guess we're going to have some goals to do in-game that are assigned by the Grim Reaper. And then speaking of Grim, the fan favorite hooded figure will make an appearance in the Life and Death expansion pack. Get a first look on October 3rd and embark on an endless journey through life and beyond, with the pack releasing this Halloween on October 31st. Saying life and beyond makes me wonder if we're gonna get the Sims version of the afterlife that we could optionally follow Sims into. Or maybe we'll even get zombies, like bringing up that risk versus reward, going out of the comfort zone mechanic. If your Sim has a bad enough life, maybe instead of passing peacefully, they return as a zombie. As the season continues, there will be free updates and much more to uncover, once again strongly implying that they have more up their sleeve than what's shown on this roadmap. And alright, I think that's just about everything. This turned out way longer than I expected, but this was so much fun to record. I'm looking forward to seeing what we get this time. I'm still pretty skeptical. This expansion pack, I think, is going to be a love it or hate it sort of thing, but very interesting theme for sure. Especially looking at what the Arcanas could be revealing about this content. Yeah, the Arcana is the means by which all is revealed. And that wraps up another Sims Info and Thoughts video, so feel free to let me know your thoughts on this to be continued roadmap in the comment section below. And be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!